and Jungkook are identical twin brothers from Korea. Jungkook is calm and serious. He helps run the family business. Jungkook, on the other hand, loves music and having fun. He's playful and sometimes a bit naughty, but everyone enjoys his company. Even though they are different, they're really close and make a great team. Jungkook keeps things steady while Jungkook adds excitement to their lives. Meanwhile, Wine and Alicia, the Indian twin sisters, couldn't be more different. Alicia, the older of the two, had a serious and focused personality. She pursued her passion for fashion design with a determination and talent, striving for success in her chosen field. On other hand, Wine, the younger twin, had a carefree attitude towards life. She enjoyed her days without any responsibility, believing that she didn't need to work because of her father's wealth. While Alicia worked hard to achieve her dreams, Wine spent her time having fun traveling the country. By the way, they are Gujaratis. Alicia, the serious fashion designer, went to Korea to chase her dream. There she met Jungkook, one of the Korean twin brothers. While working on fashion projects, they became close and fell in love. When Alicia family found out about her boyfriend from Korea, they asked her to come back home to India. They wanted to talk to her in person to understand what was going on and make sure she was okay. Alicia returned home ready to explain everything to her family and hoping they would support her relationship. Alicia's family accepted her love for Jungkook, but they had one condition: they could only be together if they got married. In their society, living together before marriage wasn't accepted. Now let's start the story. As the plane descended toward Rajasthan, Jungkook and his family gazed out the windows in awe at the landscape below. The vibrant colors of the desert and the majestic forts and the palaces dotted the horizon, captivating their hearts. Wow, this is amazing! Jungkook exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Yeah, it is so different from Korea, Jungkook added, peering out the window beside Jungkook. His family nodded in agreement, their faces filled with excitement. Jungkook's mother, I heard the food here is incredible. I can't wait to try some authentic Indian dishes and the music and the dance. Jungkook's mother remarked, dear father, I have always wanted to explore India. As Jungkook settled into his seat on the plane, his phone burst with a message notification. It was from Alicia, his soon-to-be wife. With a smile, he opened the message and found a photo. Hey, check this out, he said, turning to Jungkook beside him. Alicia sent me a photo of her and her sister, pointing out the difference. Jungkook leaned over, curious to see the photo. What's the difference? Jungkook showed him the photo where Alicia was standing next to her sister, both smiling brightly. Alicia had drawn a little arrow pointing to her own chin where a mole sat, and then to the other, which was mole-free. See, Alicia has a mole on her chin and Wine has not, Jungkook explained. As Jungkook and Jungkook looked at the photo, Jungkook noticed his brother's eyes lingering on Wine's image for a little too long, a mischievous glint in his eye. Don't even think about it, Jungkook said, catching his brother's gaze. Jungkook smirked innocently, raising his hands in mock surrender. Hey, I was just admiring the photo. Jungkook rolled his eyes playfully, knowing his brother's tendencies all too well. Sure, just remember she's off limits. Jungkook's expression shifted, a hint of offense in his eye. Are you saying she's out of my limits? Yeah, and why you think that, big brother? Jungkook came after Jungkook because she is Wine, Alicia's twin sister. It took me a month of wooing Alicia before she agreed to be my girlfriend. A whole month? Jungkook's eyebrows shot up in surprise, doubting his brother's flirting skills. Jungkook nodded. Yep, I had to prove myself worthy for her affection. Indian women appreciate dedication and sincerity, and besides, Indian girls are so beautiful that they are not easy to impress. For you, but for not me, big brother. I am Jungkook Dion. I never had trouble impressing girls. I was quite popular with the ladies back in school days, Jungkook exclaimed with a grin. Jungkook rolled his eyes playfully at his brother's boast. Yeah, we all know about your charm, but this won't work on Indian girls. Seems like you don't know your brother very well then. Jungkook glanced at Jungkook with a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. Really? Then time to know who you really are. I've got a challenge for you. Jungkook poked up, intrigued by his brother's proposal. What's the challenge? I challenge you to impress Wine. Jungkook's eyebrows shot up in surprise, a smirk forming on his lips. Challenge accepted. Just watch, big brother. I will her over with my charm alone. Jungkook chuckled, shaking his head. We'll see about that, Jungkook, but remember, keep it respectful. With the challenge set, they both settled into their seats, eager for the journey ahead and the opportunities to see if Jungkook could impress Wine without making her uncomfortable. After that, Jacob went over to their parents' seat and asked them to see the photo. He pulled out his phone with a smile. Mom, Dad, I want to show you something. His parents looked up, intrigued by his enthusiasm. What is it, dear? His mother asked. Jungkook opened up a photo of Alicia and Wine standing side by side, both smiling brightly. This is Wine, Alicia twin sister, he explained. I thought it would be helpful. His parents studied the photo intently, taking the features of each sister. Ah, I see, his brother nodded, pointing to Alicia. She has a mole on her chin, right? Jungkook grinned, impressed by his further observation. That's right, Dad, and Wine doesn't have a mole, so that's how you can tell them apart. His mother smiled, grateful for the clarification. Jungkook's mother, thank you, dear. That's very helpful. After a moment, Jungkook's mother looked up at the Jungkook with a thoughtful expression. These twins are easy to tell apart with the mole. She said, gesturing to the photo, but how will we distinguish between you and Jungkook? You both don't have a mole to help them. As Jungkook mom wondered how to tell Jungkook and Jungkook apart, they looked at Jungkook, resting his head on seat with the book covering his face. Jungkook, do you have any suggestion on how we can tell you and your brother apart? Jungkook peeked out from behind his book with a mischievous grin. How about you just call me the handsome one? He joked, earning a chuckle from everyone but not from Jungkook. Nice try, Jungkook, but we need something a bit more practical. Why don't we draw a mole on Big Brother's chin? He teased, making his brother rolling his eyes. Jungkook's mother laughed but shook her head affectionately. Jungkook, we need something a bit more practical. Jungkook chuckled and shrugged. Hey, it was a worth a shot. Shut up, Jungkook. Mom, I'll just keep my specs on. I wear glasses, but Jungkook doesn't, so that's the easiest way to tell us apart. Sorted, I'll just have to stick to being the charming one without glasses. They all laughed, assured that even without physical differences, they would find ways to tell Jungkook and Jungkook apart. With the wedding approaching, they looked forward to welcoming their new family members and celebrating the joyous occasion together. At the bride's side, the palace in Rajasthan where Jungkook and Alicia were getting married was absolutely stunning. It was tall and had beautiful designs all over it. The palace had big gardens and colorful decorations. Inside, it was just as amazing with fancy rooms and pretty lights. Everywhere you looked, there was something special to see. It was a perfect place for the wedding, full of beauty and charm, and it was going to make Jungkook and Alicia's special day even more magical. Everyone was buzzing with excitement as they heard the groom plane has landed in Jaipur airport. The guests from the bride side gets busy getting ready and waiting eagerly for them at the palace entrance. Servants dressed while the palace was filled with excitement. One slept quietly in her room unaware of the guests arrival. She had just came back from her trip to Europe and needed a good rest. While everyone else was busy, she snoozed peacefully wrapped up in her blanket. Outside, people laughed and danced, but Wine didn't care a bit. She slept through it all until Alicia stopped and entered the room, eager to wake her up. Alicia, Wine, wake up! Jungkook's family plane has landed. Alicia whispered, excited, but Wine, still groggy from her deep sleep, grumbled in irritation. Leave me alone, baby, elder sister. Alicia persisted, gently nudging her. Come on, Wine, you can't be sleeping all day. You are bride's sister. As Wine tried to shake off her slappiness, she mumbled, what responsibility? You know only the bride's sister is supposed to welcome the guests from the groom side. And well, unfortunately, why don't you go and welcome the guests? Let me sleep a little longer. I'll join you in your hurry, I promise. How can I go and welcome them, Wine? I'm the bride. Alicia gets irritated. Just hide your mouth with some makeup and no one will be able. Wine's suggestion seemed to irritate Alicia, who grabbed a glass of water nearby and slapped on her sister's face, making Wine jump and sit up on the bed, wide awake now. Didi, what was that for? Wine exclaimed, shocked by her sister's sudden action. Alicia scolded Wine, her voice grew still. go and get ready before I lose all my passion. This is not time for jokes. Please get serious. It's my wedding. When feeling the weight of her sister's scold, he couldn't help but feel a pang of irritation. Why are you getting married so soon anyway? We are only 24, we are too young for all this. And on top of that, cats are telling me to learn from you. You are also 24, Wine. Maybe you should think. Alicia sighed, feeling the weight of the situation. Wine, please, let's not argue about this now. We have a wedding for preparing it. Why Noni, knowing her sister was right, she should support Alicia's decision. With a heavy heart, she got up from the bed, ready to face the day ahead, even though the thought of her sister's marriage. As Van reluctantly got ready for the day, she chose a beautiful anarkali suit from her wardrobe. As she admired herself in the mirror, her father's sister Boji entered, a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Bua, Wine, my dear, you look stunning, Buaji exclaimed, admiring her niece's outfit. Thank you, Buaji, she replied with a tint of blush on her cheeks. You know, Wine, I heard something interesting today. Wine raised an eyebrow, curious about what her Buaji had to say. Wine, what did you hear? Buaji leaned in conspiratorially, a playful smirk on her lips. I heard that Alicia's groom, Jungkook, has an identical twin named Jungkook. Why don't you marry him on the same day? It will be like a double wedding. Wine cheeks flushed with embarrassment as she tried to brush off her Buaji's teasing. Buaji, please don't start with your matchmaking scheme again. But Buaji persisted, her teasing tone unwavering. Oh, come on, Wine. It's just a suggestion. You never know. After all, all know how handsome groom Alicia has found for herself. Wine rolled her eyes, feeling exasperated by her Buaji's antics. I think I'll pass on that idea. Thank you very much. With a playful chuckle, Buaji patted Wine's shoulder before leaving the room, leaving Wine to ponder. Despite her Buaji's teasing, Wine knew she wasn't ready for the marriage, especially not to someone she barely knew. As she prepared to join the festivities, she pushed aside the thought of marriage, focusing instead. As the groom side arrived at the gate of the palace, the anticipation among the bride's family reached its peak. One, along with the rest of family, stood at the door. One stood at the forefront, a thali in her hand filled with traditional offerings of flowers and sweet. Her heart raced with excitement as she waited for the glimpse of the groom entourage. Finally, the gate swung open and the groom procession entered the courtyard. Wine heart raced with excitement, and now standing at the forefront, she eagerly scanned the group, trying to distinguish between Jungkook and his identical twin brother Jungkook. Welcome to India. At first, Wine's eyes darted back and forth between the two brothers, her mind struggling to differentiate between them. To herself, which one is Jungkook? But then, as if sensing her confusion, Jungkook stepped forward with a warm smile, his eyes twinkling at the corners. I am Jungkook. With a sense of relief washing over her, one confusion melted away as Jungkook introduced himself. Welcome to India. One welcomed Jungkook with a traditional tikka ceremony. Her heart fluttered with excitement. With a confident smile, she applied the vermilion mark on Jungkook's forehead, addressing him as Jeju, a term used to refer to one's sister husband Wan. Welcome, Jungkook, although familiar with the term, and smiled. Smiled warmly in response, touched by Wan's gestures of hospitality. Thank you, Wan. It's wonderful to be here. Meanwhile, Jungkook, standing nearby, couldn't help but feel a flutter in his heart as he watched Van in her traditional attire, intrigued by the term Jiju and sensing an opportunity to strike up a conversation with Van. He approached her with a curious smile. Hey Van, what does Jiju mean? Van, taken aback by Jungkook's sudden question, explained with a smile. Oh, Jiju means brother-in-law. It's respectful. Van then performed the tikka ceremony on Jungkook's parents. She greeted them in warmly in English only as she doesn't know Korean, unaware that Jungkook's parent doesn't understand the English. However, despite the language barrier, Jungkook's parents smiled graciously in response. Their eyes now Wine turned to apply the tikka on Jungkook's forehead. She noticed that he didn't lean down like the others had. Instead, he stood tall, causing Wine to tiptoe slightly to reach him. As she leaned forward to apply the vermilion mask, their eyes met, and Wine found herself gazing into Jungkook's mesmerizing gaze from up close. In that moment, time seemed to stand still as they locked eyes. Jungkook got captivated by Wan's beauty and grace, his breath catching as he observed her delicate features up close. Her eyes held a depth of kindness and sincerity that drew him in, leaving him momentarily spellbound. For a fleeting moment, they lingered in that silent exchange, the air charged with unspoken emotion. Then, with a gentle smile, Wine applied the tick on Jungkook's forehead, breaking the spell and returning to the present moment. Their brief encounter left an indelible impression on both of them, igniting a spark of curiosity and interest that would continue to simmer beneath the surface. At the time of Alicia's haldi ceremony arrived, Alicia wore a beautiful pink lehenga, while Van chose a trendy yellow top with flowy plants. Alicia, you look stunning, Van. I had to come because you're my didi, but honestly, I think you're making a silly decision getting married at this early age. Alicia posed surprised by Van's candidness. What do you think? It's silly, Van. Van sighed, thinking carefully before responding. Well, I just feel like you are too young, and there's so much more to life then. Thanks, Van. I appreciate your honesty, but Papa had put this condition, and I understand your concern too. But you know what gave me relief? That I and Jacob, we both love each other. It wasn't hard to take marriage decision for both of us. I am happy. Okay, Didi, if he makes you happy, then I support you the 100%. The sisters shared hug, but then their mother entered the room, her eyes full of tears as she saw Alicia in her holiday outfit. You look so beautiful, Alicia. Alicia smiled at her mom's word, feeling love. Thanks, Mom. Alicia gets teary too. I can't handle all this drama. After Wine left, Alicia's mother approached her with a serious look, hitting with some important advice she wanted to share. Alicia, dear, now that we are alone, there are some things I want to tell you. Alicia nodded, curious to hear what her mother had to say. In our culture, a wife's job is to take care of her husband. Her mother softened her expression but stuck to her beliefs. While it's good for couples to share tasks, it's also important to follow traditions. Taking care of your husband shows love and respect. Alicia shared, feeling torn between tradition and modern ideas. I understand, Mom, I'll try to do. After sharing her traditional advice with Alicia, her mother paused, her expression softening with concern. Alicia, you'll always be the sensible one between you and Wine. I know you will handle your married life well. I worry about her. Alicia, her sank as her mother was realizing the weight of responsibility that lay ahead. I'll do my best, Mom. With a reassuring smile, her mother left the room, leaving Alicia deep in thought. The reality of marriage sank in, and Alicia realized that it might not be as easy as she had once thought. She was faced with the challenge of balancing tradition with her own beliefs and ensuring the happiness of both herself and her family. It was a daunting task. On the other side, Vine received a message informing her that the groom's mother needed assistance getting into traditional attire. I better go help her. As Vine arrived at Jungkook's mother's room, she found her struggling to the fasten the traditional attire sari, evident from her frustrated eyes. Is everything okay? Even though Jungkook's mother did not understand what Vine said, but she sighed and shook her head, grateful for Vine's timely arrival. Vine smiled reassuringly, stepping in to offer her assistance. Speaking in English, a language unknown to Jungkook's mother, Wine began to guide her through the process, but his mother couldn't understand anything. Wine sighed and started strapping the sari herself. Meanwhile, in Jungkook's room, Jungkook was styling his brother Jungkook's hair, and he caught a glimpse of Wine's reflection heading towards the side room where his mother was struggling with her attire. Instantly, he abandoned his task, intending to rush into their room. However, before he could make a move, Jungkook interrupted him. Hold on, where do you think you are going? You've got a job to finish here. Jungkook hesitated, torn between his desire to go to his mother and his instinct to talk to Wine. Jungkook raised an eyebrow, spectacle of Jungkook's sudden urgency. Do you know anything about Indian girls? How in the world they would need help? Jungkook hesitated, searching for a convenient argument. Mom doesn't speak English. How will she understand Wine? She need me, big brother. Jungkook paused, considering Jungkook's point. After a moment of silence, he relented, realizing the importance of Jungkook's presence being interpreted between his mother and Wine. Alright, go ahead, but make it quick. We still have a lot to do. Okay, big brother. As Jungkook rushed to his mother's room, he couldn't contain his curiosity and excitement. Peeking through the door, his heart skipped a beat as he caught sight of Ryan tenderly assisting their mother, dressed in a charming Indo-Western outfit. Ryan looked like a vision of beauty and grace. Her smile illuminated the room, and Jungkook found himself captivated by her presence. With a gentle blush flaring his cheek, Jungkook couldn't help but feel a flutter of attraction towards Ryan in that moment. But then his mother uttered something in Korean, catching Ryan off guard. Jungkook's mother. Ryan blinked in confusion, not understanding the words spoken in Korean. I'm sorry, I don't understand Korean. As Jungkook found a chance to slip into the conversation, he entered the room and approached Ryan with a smile. Sorry to interrupt, but my mom is just wondering how she will use the washroom if she needed. As Jungkook relayed his mother concern, Ryan couldn't help but chuckle inwardly. While she knew how to manage wearing a sari, she found it difficult to explain without giving a demonstration. I see. Well, it might be best to use the washroom before putting. Jungkook turned to his mother, translating Ryan's words for her. Jungkook. His mother nodded in understanding, eyes of relief crossing her features. After that, Ryan lifted his off the half-tucked sari, and Jungkook's mother left the washroom. As Jungkook found himself alone with Ryan in the room, he took the opportunity to strike up the conversation and introduced himself. Hi, I don't think we officially met yet. I'm Jungkook, Jungkook's younger brother. Ryan smiled warmly, extending her hand. Nice to meet you, I'm Ryan. Their handshake lingered for a moment longer than necessary, a subtle spark of connection passing between them, and Jungkook seized the opportunity to lean in closer, his lips brushing against Ryan's ear as he whispered softly, So, Ryan, what do you call your sister, husband, brother in your language? Ryan felt a shiver run down her spine. As Jungkook's warm breath trickled her ear, she couldn't help but blush at the intimate proximity between them, her heart fluttering at the unaccepted closeness. But Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that he is just like every other brother who flirts with a bright sister. Wanting to play alone, she tiptoed closer to him, her lips near his ear as she whispered softly, Bandar. Jungkook rose, furrowed slightly in confusion at her unexpected response. Bandar, does that mean? Before Ryan could respond, their mother emerged from the room, breaking the moment and causing them to quickly step away. After Jungkook bid farewell and left the room, Wan remained behind to assist their mother with her sari, the playful exchange with Jungkook still lingering in her mind. Time skipped at Alicia and Jungkook's haldi ceremony. Amidst a lively haldi ceremony, Jungkook was taken aback seeing Alicia dressed in a colorful Indian attire for the first time. His heart skipped a beat, completely captivated by her beauty. Jungkook. Sitting beside him, she couldn't help but smile at his compliment. Jungkook leaned in close, whispering in her ear, Where have you been all this time? Alicia's cheeks flushed. Sorry, I wasn't allowed to meet you. Their exchange caught the attention of teasing relatives who chuckled among themselves. Alicia's Boa and Masi couldn't resist teasing her, adding to the playful atmosphere of the ceremony. Oh, look at these lovebirds, save these sweet talks for the Suhagrat. Alicia's Masis chimed in, joining the teasing. Yes. Their light-hearted comments drew laughter from the gathered relatives, causing Alicia to blush even more, feeling a mix of shyness and amusement at their playful teasing. Bua Masi, please. As the teasing continued, Jungkook couldn't help but lean in once more, his curiosity piqued. What's Suhagrat? Alicia's eyes widened in surprise at Jungkook's innocent question, her cheeks turning a deeper shade of red. A nervous giggle escaped her lips as she glanced around at their relatives, hoping no one had overheard their conversation. Please, Jungkook, let's keep it quiet, otherwise these people will tease me to no end. Jungkook chuckled but then nodded. As the party buzzed with excitement, Jungkook focused on Ryan at the food area. He watched her carefully, checking if everything was fresh and there was enough for everyone. Impressed by Ryan's hard work, Jungkook felt drawn to her. He wanted to help her and maybe share a quiet. Jungkook couldn't resist the urge to Skype up a conversation with her. He sauntered over, a playful glint in his eyes. Hey Ryan, I must say you're looking absolutely stunning today, almost as if you're outshining the decorations. Ryan blushed at the compliment, rolling her eyes playfully at Jungkook's teasing. Oh please, you're just saying. What snack do you recommend, by the way? But I'm careful about my diet. Can't mess up with these ads. He flexes muscles, making wine roll his eyes. If you want healthy options, you can have some fruit salad or grilled paneer tikka. They are tasty and won't spoil your day. Jungkook leaning closer to Wang, his voice barely above a whisper. Jungkook, or maybe you, I bet you will be more delicious. Wang felt a blush creep onto her cheeks at the proximity of Jungkook's whisper. Wang tiptoed closer to Jungkook, a mischievous twinkle in her eyes as she leaned in to whisper in his ear. You know, Jungkook, no matter how much you try, you can't have it. Is that so? We'll see about that. Their playful exchange added an extra layer of excitement. With a playful smirk, Wan stepped back from Jungkook, leaving him with lingering sense of anticipation. As she disappeared into the crowd, Jungkook couldn't help but smile, looking forward. As the ceremony carried on, Alicia's dad took Jacob to greet the guests, leaving Alicia with her friend Nikita. Nikita noticed Alicia's serious expressions and asked, "Why are you getting married, Alicia? Is it what you really want?" Alicia paused, feeling uncertain. Nikita's word made her think about the changes marriage brings. Nikita added, "Think carefully, Alicia. After marriage, things are different. Your time won't be just yours anymore. You will have the new responsibilities that might take away your freedom." Nikita's words echoed with uncertainty as she grappled with the realities of married life, realizing that despite the support from Jacob's family, challenges and sacrifices lay ahead. After the Hurley ceremony concluded, Alicia made her way to her room, her mind still preoccupied with Nikita's word. Lost in thought, she barely noticed her surroundings and she was suddenly pulled into a nearby room, causing her to gasp in surprise. Her heart raced as she turned to see what had grabbed her, only to let out a relieved sigh when she saw Jungkook standing before her. "Sorry about that, Alicia. I couldn't resist surprising you." Alicia smiled, feeling a sense of comfort wash over her as she realized it was Jungkook. Jungkook's playful demur softened as he looked into Alicia's eyes, his gaze filled with affection. Without a word, he gently cupped her face in his hands, drawing her closer until their lips met in a tender kiss. Alicia's heart fluttered as she melted into the kiss, feeling a rush of warmth sprint through her. Her cheeks flushed pink as she closed her eyes, surrendering to the sweet sensation of Jungkook's lips. Soft sigh escaped Alicia's lips as she wrapped her arms around Jungkook, pulling him closer, her heart overflowing with emotion as they finally parted, their breaths mingling in the air. Alicia's cheeks were adorned with a rosy blush, her eyes sparkling with newfound affection for the man before her. "I missed you." "Me too. I didn't know if it was right." Alicia's feeling so surreal right now. "I know what you mean, but hey, we are in this together, right?" "Yeah, I just hope everything goes well." "Don't worry, we'll figure it out. We've got each other." "You're right. Thanks, Jungkook. I don't know what I would do without you." "You don't have to worry about that. I'll always be here for you no matter what." "I'm glad to hear that. I feel so lucky to have you in my life. And I feel lucky to have you. We make a great team, don't we?" "Definitely. I wouldn't want to go through this with anyone else." "Me neither. Now let's focus on enjoying the rest of the celebration. We'll deal with everything else together, okay?" "Okay, let's make the most of this special time together." As they exchanged words of reassurance and support, Alicia felt a weight of lift off her shoulders. She knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she had Jacob by her side, ready to face them together. With a renewed sense of confidence and gratitude, they shared a smile before rejoining the festivities. Their bond stronger than ever as they embraced the joy of the celebration and the promise of their future together. As the night grew late, Jungkook and Jungkook relaxed on their bed, sharing. Jungkook, curious about Wan's earlier remark, researched for the meaning of wonder on his phone, looking puzzled. Jungkook laughed at Jungkook's earnestness. "What are you doing, Jungkook? Trying to crack Wan's secret word?" Jungkook focused on his search, replied, "Yeah, I need to know what she meant." Jungkook laughed even more, leaning back on the bed. "Oh, my little brother, you are too innocent. Let me give you a hint. It's not in the dictionary." "What do you mean? Now I'm even more curious." Jungkook chuckled. "You'll figure it out eventually. Sometimes it's better not to know everything." Jikook's laughter filled the room with each shared joke, making Jungkook dumbfounded as he had no idea what made his big brother laugh so hard. Wan and Alicia settled on their bed. The events of the day replayed in Alicia's mind, prompting her to address her sister. So, did you find anyone for yourself too? No, because I wasn't finding anyone. Alicia's noticing her sister's attempt to conceal her emotion pressed on with her questioning. And what about Jungkook? Isn't he handsome? Wine cheeks flushed even deeper as he fought to mask her growing blush. Well, I suppose he is decent looking. Alicia's raised an eyebrow, sensing her sister's discomfort. Come on, Van, I've seen the way. One blush intensified her attempt at evasion, falling in the face of her sister's persistence. Okay, fine, maybe he's a little attractive, but that doesn't mean anything. Alicia screamed mischievously, delighted to have caught. Alicia couldn't resist teasing her sister further, a playful smirk playing on her lips. So, what do you say? Should I tell Dad to order one lehenga, one sherwani, and while we are at it, let's arrange for your wedding too? Van let out a groan and turned away. Didi, please, I have no interest in getting married and you ruining my life. Van's word hit her hard, her playful smile faded, replaced by a moment of introspection. She found herself torn between amusement and her sister's reactions and a nagging sense of doubt about her own choices. In the quiet of room, Alicia's thoughts swirled with uncertainty. Was she truly content with the path she had chosen, or was she following? Meanwhile, on the other side of Wine turned away, her mind drifting to thoughts of Jungkook. Despite her attempt to suppress them, her cheeks flushed. Next evening, Alicia and Jungkook sangeet. As the music played and everyone danced, Alicia and Jungkook enjoyed the sangeet celebration. Alicia looked beautiful in her traditional outfit and Jungkook complimented her. You look great, Alicia. Alicia blushed and thanked him, saying that energetic beats of Piri Teya Deva filled the air. Wine took to the dance floor, her graceful movements capturing everyone's attentions, including Jungkook's. Despite not understanding the lyrics, Jungkook couldn't. Wine dance mesmerized the crowd. Jungkook leaned over to Alicia, a curious expression on his face. Hey Alicia, what's the song about? I don't understand the words. And why is everyone keep glancing at me? Alicia giggled at Jungkook's curiosity, glad to explain. It's a playful song about the bride's sister teasing bride's brother-in-law means. Jungkook nodded, his attention still fixed on Wine as she gracefully moved to the music. Despite not understanding the meaning of the song, he couldn't deny it's infectious. The Sangeet continued. Jungkook couldn't resist joining in on the fun. With the mischievous scream, he took the dance floor, effortlessly matching the energy of the music with his own lively moves. As he danced, he couldn't help but sing along the song, a K-pop song, but his smooth voice adding to the excitement of the moment. Wine watched him from the sidelines, her eyes widening in the surprise, and Jungkook's performance captivated everyone, including herself. Despite her attempts to hide it, she couldn't deny the pang of jealousy that welled up inside her as she noticed her cousin admiring gaze fixed on Jungkook. As Jungkook's performance continued to the captivated the crowd, Rhea and Mona couldn't contain their excitement, their voices filled with admiration. Oh my gosh, did you see that? His brother-in-law is amazing. Did you hear him sing? It's like he got it all. Looks, talent, charm. Their effusive praise only served to heighten in Wine's feelings of jealousy. Despite her attempts to hide, she couldn't help but feel a pang of envy as she watched her cousins gush over Jungkook. Despite her attempts to brush off the comment, she couldn't help but feel a tinge of irritation at the sight of them drooling over him. As Jungkook stepped off the stage, Rhea and Mona hurried. Rhea and Mona approached Jungkook. Their excitement seemed to morph into furious banter. Jungkook, you were absolutely incredible out there. I can't stop thinking about your moves. Mona chimed in with a playful grin, leaning in closer to Jungkook. Yeah, and your singing, it's like music to ours. Jungkook chuckled at their compliments, feeling a bit flustered by their sudden attention. Thank you, ladies. You are too kind. When observed from afar, feeling a surge of jealousy as she watched her cousins flirt with Jungkook. Despite her own feelings for him, she couldn't help but feel a pang of frustration as Rhea and Mona chatted with Jungkook. Come on, try these Golgappas. Jungkook Mona offered him one, saying they would feed him themselves. Jungkook chuckled, feeling a bit awkward about but couldn't refuse. Alright, I'll give it a try. Wine watched feeling jealous as she saw Jungkook with her cousins. Jungkook noticed and decided to tease her more. Jungkook took the Golgappa from Mona's hand, but before he could eat it, he turned to Rhea and Mona with a playful grin. You two are quite the culinary artist, aren't you? I'm lucky to have such two beautiful girls feeding me. Rhea giggled, feeling fluttered by Jungkook's word. Oh, stop it, Jungkook. Yeah, but don't think you are getting away that easily. You still have to try our special chutney. Jungkook laughed, enjoying the playful banter with Rhea and Mona as he indulged in their hospitality. Meanwhile, Wine's jealousy only grew. After wrestling with her jealousy, Wine couldn't resist joining the group with a smirk. He interjected. Excuse me, girls, I think it's my turn now. A performer needs to taste my Golgappas too. She skillfully prepared a Golgappa, adding an extra spice and feed Jungkook. Once her fluttered at the touch, but a hint of anger simmered beneath the surface. She couldn't shake off the feeling of irritation at Jungkook's squeamish behavior. Once eyed widened in as his spice hit his throat, causing him to choke on the Golgappa. He turned to Wine with glare, his voice tinged with anger. What did you feed me? Wine simply smirked and walked away. Seeing Jungkook distressed, Mona and Ria rushed to his side, offering him water and patting his back to ease the discomfort. However, Jungkook pushed them away gently, his mood visibly soured. Excuse me, ladies, I think I need some space. With that, he turned away and walked off, leaving Mona and Ria exchanging concerned glances as they watched him go. On the other side, Jikung and Alicia danced together. They seemed lost in each other's embrace, completely immersed in the moment. However, Alicia couldn't shake off the words of Nikita and Wine from her wine. As they swayed to the music, Jikuk noticed a hint of unease in Alicia's expression. Sensing something was amiss, he gently halted their dance and looked into her eyes with concern. Is everything okay, Alicia? You seem distracted. Alicia shook her head, offering a faint smile. After the performance, Alicia sat with her Miss Marcies and was engaging in conversation. Jungkook's mother joined them, but she couldn't understand a word as they conversed in Hindi. She observed their animated discussion with a slight smile. Alicia's Bua and Masi couldn't resist teasing her once again, nudging her playfully as they remarked in Hindi. Alicia, Jungkook is very beautiful and very handsome too. Your children will be so cute. Alicia rolled her eyes, not particularly fond of the conversation about babies. However, her Masi persisted with a mischievous grin. So when are you planning to have children? Alicia sighed, feeling a bit exasperated as the teasing continued. Then her Masi chimed in, saying, Alicia, you speak Korean, tell your mother. Alicia rolled her eyes once again, then she turned to her mother-in-law with a smile, translating in Korean. They are talking about my and Jikook's kid, saying they can't wait to see our child. Her mother-in-law replied in Korean. Alicia smiled faded. Alicia's wife asked her excitedly, what did your mother-in-law say? Alicia translated her mother-in-law's response with a plain expression, even I cannot wait to. The room erupted in laughter to the exchange with her masses chiming in with playful comments. Seems like we'll get to play the baby soon, one of them teased. However, Alicia's laughter was forced as she excused herself from the conversation, feeling a sense of unease setting in her heart. She couldn't shake off the feeling that the discussion about children was premature and placed undue pressure on her. Time skip at night. Jungkook sat in the washroom, clutching his stomach in discomfort after eating the spicy golgappa. He pulled out his phone and began searching for the meaning of Bandar and the song Didi Tera Deva Divana. His brows furrowed in irritation as he read the translations. Realizing that Wan had made a joke of his handsome face, fueled by both physical discomfort and wounded pride, Jungkook's frustration grew. And he muttered angrily about Wan's teasing. The pain in his stomach paled in comparison to the sting of embarrassment and annoyance he felt at being made fun of. Jungkook muttered to himself in frustration, his voice laced with irritation and discomfort. Stupid spicy Kolkappa. Why did I even eat it? And why making fun of me? Bandar? Didi Tera Deva Divana? Seriously? He grimaced as another wave of pain washed over him. Can't believe she would do this, making fun of me. What does she think she is? His voice rose as indignation, fueled by both physical discomfort and wounded pride. I'll show her. She won't get away with this. Just wait until I get out of here. He clenched his fist in frustration, determined. Jungkook asked, knocking on the door. Jungkook, are you okay? He asked, and Jungkook's anger flared up even more. I'll not leave your sister-in-law. She failed very bad. What does she think of herself? Jungkook's tone was laid with frustration and indignation. Jungkook struggled to contain his laughter, but he tried to reason with his brother. Jacob, come on, Jungkook, you know how Wan is. She's only 24 while we are 27. She's just being playful. Meanwhile, Wan slept as she was not feeling good, learning that Jungkook flirted with some other than how she felt like every other girl sister with whom he flirted. As Alicia lives beside Wan, realization dawned on her that she isn't ready for the marriage. However, feel like it's too late to back out now. Feeling the need to share her thoughts with someone, she gently tried to wake up Ryan. Ryan, I want to tell you something, Alicia whispered softly. Alicia attempted one more to arouse Ryan from her slumber, gently shaking her shoulder, but Ryan remained unresponsive, lost in her peaceful sleep. Feeling a surge of urgency, Alicia leaned in closer and whispered softly, Ryan, I don't want to marry. At the unexpected revelation, Ryan's eyes snapped. Ryan's voice quivered with surprise as she asked, what did you just say, Didi? Her eyes searched Alicia's face, trying to discern. Alicia let out a heavy sigh and repeated, I don't want to marry. Ryan's eyes widened in disbelief and fear as she asked, why? Taking a moment to gather her thoughts, Alicia finally voiced her fears about marriage. I fear losing my freedom. Why? What if I'm not ready to take on all those responsibilities? What if I lose myself? Are you realizing it now, Didi? Wan said softly, her tone heavy with the emotion. I've been trying to make you understand for so many days. Feeling the weight of her mistake, Alicia nodded, tears swelling up in her eyes. She finally acknowledged her sister's wisdom and guidance. Wan gently held Alicia's shoulders, trying to comfort her. Didi, forget about everything, she said soothingly. Juju is a good guy, and even you share the same profession, it won't be as difficult as you think. I was overthinking too. Marriage isn't all that bad, especially for guys like Jungkook, and I've heard Koreans are. Alicia yanked one hand and cried even harder. You are not understanding Wine. It's not about Jungkook. I know he's a good guy and I love him. But Wine didn't let her finish as he interjected. No buts. You love him, he loves you. Then there's no issue. Now please sleep, Didi. Tomorrow is your wedding day. It will be a long day. Wine did listen to Alicia's word and gently laid her on the bed. Alicia continued to cry for some more time as Wine didn't listen to her. Her words remained stuck in her heart, so she picked up her phone and messaged a guy. Knowing whether anyone understand or not, he will surely understand her. On the other side, Jacob whispered in a sleepy Jungkook's ear that he couldn't sleep and was going to the terrace for some fresh air. Jungkook hummed in a sleepy voice and Jungkook left the room. In the morning, Van heard a knock on her door. Didi, please go, she murmured for her sister to open it, but there was no response. Another knock, she sat up on her bed with an irritated expression, calling out her sister. Didi opened, stopped with a continuous knock on the door. Van crawled and stood up, rubbing her eyes. She opened the door. Yes, ma, she said, slightly annoyed. However, her mother didn't say anything as she pushed past Van into the room, murmuring, first one was like this, now the other one has become to no sense at all. It's a wedding today and they are still sleeping at 9 a.m. Wine turned around asking her mother, what happened now? And it's 6 a.m., not 9. We still have 3 hours. Her mother sighed, turning around after searching for Alicia in the bathroom. Where is Alicia? She asked. Wine paused for a while. She didn't know. I don't know, she said with puzzled expression. Her mother, then what do you know? She gave a smack on her head, making her whine in annoyance. Wine's mind raced, trying to formulate a plan to ease her mother. Sorry, I'll find her, ma. She must be around here somewhere. Don't worry, I'll take care of it, she assured her. Alright, but make it quick, her mother urged, her concern lingering in the air as Van closed the door behind her, her thoughts already racing ahead to search for her sister. Van searched everywhere in the big palace but couldn't find her sister. Feeling really worried, she went back to her room and sat on her bed with a sad sigh. She remembered what Alicia said last night. Did you run away from the marriage? No, this can't happen. I should search one more time, she muttered to herself, determination flickering in her eyes as she prepared to embark on another search for her missing sister. But before she could even voice her intention to begin the search for her gaze fell upon a piece of paper resting on the dressing table. Vian's heart skipped a beat as she approached the table, her trembling hands reaching out to pick up the letter. Is that a letter? With each word she read, her eyes widened in fear and tension. Her word fears confirmed as she realized it was Alicia's goodbye letter. Tears welled up in her eyes as she read Alicia's farewell words. No, Didi, please don't leave. She pleaded softly, her voice choked. As the weight of Alicia's absence settled upon her, Vian's mind raced with worry. What do I do now? She wondered aloud, her voice trembling with uncertainty. I have to find her before it's too late. With a newfound sense of urgency, Vian spurring into action, determined to track down her sister. Vian's desperation grew. She decided to seek help from Jungkook, hoping he might have some clue about Alicia's whereabouts. With a heavy heart and trembling head, she made her way to Jungkook's room. Jungkook grumbled here the knowing outside room. Can't a guy get some peace and quiet around here? After what felt like an eternity, the crate creaked open, revealing a sleepy-eyed Jungkook on the other side. Before Vine could utter a word, Jungkook's expression turned to annoyance as she remembered what she had done to him last night. Without a word, he slammed the door shut in her face, leaving Vine standing. Vine whined and persisted, knocking on Jungkook's door, pleading, Jungkook, please open the door. Not getting any response, finally Vine sighed and glanced around to make sure no one was listening. Taking a deep breath, she admitted. As soon as she finished speaking, the door swung open, revealing Jungkook's shocked face. What? While nodding anxiously, her hand fidgeting with the hem of her dress. Yes, I found this letter from Alicia, she explained, holding out the note for Jungkook to see. It says she's leaving and I think they're locked. Jungkook's expression shifted from shock to concern as he read the letter. Dear Van, you remember our last night talk? I was telling you that I don't want to get married, but you didn't listen to me, so I messaged Jungkook and I found out that he was also not ready for the marriage. He took this decision because he didn't want to hurt me, as our family is pressuring me to get us married. But when we both realize that we don't want to get married, we love each other, but we are not ready for it. We have so many dreams to fulfill. Someone may or may not understand, but you will definitely understand. Please take care of yourself. With a heavy sigh, Jungkook folded. We need to find them, he declared firmly, his mind already formulating a plan. I have searched the entire palace, but they are not here. They must have left for the airport. Van informed him. Jungkook nodded decisively. Let's go. He held her hand. It's not the right time for the romance. Van looked down, feeling embarrassed as they both exited the room hand in hand. The relatives observed them, their minds already making assumptions. Van, however, paid little attention, knowing that real shock would come when everyone discovered what the groom and the bride had run away from the wedding. They arrived at the airport, but Alicia and Jacob were nowhere to be found. It took them 3 hours to comb through the airport, but they returned home empty-handed. When they walked back into the palace, all eyes turned to them. Vian's father was the first one to speak up. Where have you been? And where is Alicia and Jacob? Feeling hesitant, Vian blessed and Jungkook for reassurance. He squeezed her hand, giving her the courage to speak up. One sighed and addressed her family. One father eyebrows shot up in surprise. Run away? But why? One hesitated, exchanging a quick glance with Jungkook before continuing. They left a letter explaining everything. They weren't ready for the marriage. There was a collective gasp from the family, followed by murmurs of disbelief. Vian's mother eyes widened in shock, her father trying to hum up. But how could they do this? What will everyone say? Jungkook stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. Right now, as the time ticked away and Alicia and Jungkook were still milling in Jaipur, and the wedding was just 2 hours away with the guests starting to arrive, Vian's uncle led her father to a private room. In the room, he brought up the idea of having Vian and Jungkook sit in the wedding ceremony instead of Alicia and Jungkook. It's the only way to fix this mess, he suggested. But I can't blame one girl for the mistake of another. That wouldn't be fair, he objected. However, Vian's uncle kept insisting, putting pressure on him. Think about our family's reputation. If the wedding falls apart, what will people think? I can't do that. No matter what happens, I can't force Vian into a marriage she doesn't want, he asserted firmly. But Vian's uncle persisted, emphasizing the family's reputation. Think about the consequences if the wedding doesn't happen. We can risk tarnishing our family's honor, he urged. Vian's father remained resolute, his voice unwavering. I understand, but I won't compromise Vian's happiness for societal pressure. There must be another way, he insisted. Despite the pressure, Wan's father refused to yield, adamant about not forcing Wan into a marriage against her will, even in the face of societal expectations. As tension rose, Wan's uncle couldn't hold back his frustration any longer. I always said girls shouldn't have so much freedom. If she had stayed home, we wouldn't be dealing with the mess now. One girl runs away from her wedding, and the other brings disgrace to her family by getting close to her brother in laws. He spat out angrily. One father, losing his patience, raised his voice in response. Watch your words, my daughter is my pride, he retorted sharply. But Wan's uncle wouldn't back down, his anger growing. Yelling at me won't change the facts. Everyone saw Wan leaving Jungkook's brother room this morning, he shot back. Wan father anger flared up even more, his voice booming in the room. Leave before I lose my temper, he demanded firmly. Though visibly upset, Wan's uncle issued a fine warning. Do whatever you want, but remember if the wedding doesn't happen today, it won't just affect our family's relationships, but also our business deals, he cautions before storming out of the room. As Wan's uncle stormed out, he spotted Wan standing there, tears welling up in her eyes as she listened to every word of the heated talk. Make your dad understand, or we'll lose respect and business will take a hit, he said sharply, his voice filled with anger. Wan's voice quivered as she responded, I'll try, uncle, I'll try. With a dismissive wave of his hand, he retorted, Wan's uncle, you better. Everything at stake. Giving Wan one last chance. Disdainful look. Wan entered the room, her eyes brimming with tears as she caught sight of her father. Sorry, Papa, she choked out. It's because of me that you have to hear all of this. Her father gaze softened as he approached her, gently cupping her face to wipe her tears. You don't have to cry, he said softly, his voice filled with warmth and understanding. I trust you. I know there's nothing going on between you and Jungkook. Vine sniffled, her shoulders trembling with emotion, and it's not Alicia's fault either. It's my fault for pressuring her into marriage. Her father embraced tightened, offering comfort and reassurance. Vine will sort out everything, he promised, his tone firm yet tender. Together, after breaking the her with her father, Vine wiped away her tears and spoke up. Tell uncle, I'm ready for the marriage. Her father was shocked. You don't have to do this, he insisted, concerned about the family's reputation and business, but Vine was determined. If my papa can worry so much for us, can't I do this for him? He educated me, let me travel alone, gave me freedom. Now, when he needs me, can't I do this much? It's not that easy, Van. You would have to marry someone you don't know, her father explained. I know Jungkook, Papa. I like him, and what relatives have seen is true. She lied, knowing he wouldn't agree otherwise. Her father sighed and simply said before leaving Van, Father, okay, feeling a bit disappointed upon realizing that Van was actually in room with Jungkook. On the other side, when Jungkook's family found out that they were asking Jungkook and Vine to marry, Jungkook's parents tried to convince him not to, but Jungkook agreed to the marriage, which was shocking for Vine too. However, they didn't get time to talk because both of them needed to be ready. Time skipped marriage time. As the Dulhan made her entrance, Jungkook's heart raced at the sight of her, his breath catching in his throat. She was radiant, a vision of beauty that left him speechless, yet beneath the surface excitement, he couldn't shake the nagging uncertainty about the future. Marriage was a big step. Vine walked and stand behind Jungkook, her eyes shimmering with tears. There was a tinge of sadness in her heart. Her own future seemed uncertain, especially as she thought about her dreams of traveling the world. The idea of settling down felt like a departure from the adventurous life she had imagined. But Jungkook gently took her hand. One looked up, meeting his gaze. In the moment, time seemed to stand still as their eyes locked. There was an unspoken understanding between them, a silent connection that transcended words. In Jungkook's eyes, one saw a mixture of emotions, love, reassurance. After the wedding ceremony, Vine ascended the stairs, her heavy lehenga weighing on her. She approached the door to the assured room. A wave of mixed emotion washed over her. She hesitated, knowing that on the other side awaited Jungkook, now her husband. Vine sat on the terrace, her arms wrapped around her knees, staring into the darkness. Despite the chaos inside her, her tears remained unshed, leaving her with a sense of numbness. A gentle touch on her shoulder startled Vine, and when she looked up, she saw Jungkook's soft smile like a beacon of comfort in the dim light of her world. His voice was gentle melody. They sat together, the space between them a chasm of unspoken. They sat together, the space between them a chasm of unspoken words and shared burdens. Lost in the labyrinth of their thoughts, they seemed to stretch infinity. Vine summoned the courage to break up the oppressive silence. Why didn't you run away? My sister ran away. I had no choice. Jungkook's confession pierced through the veil of their differences. Well, your sister wasn't alone in that decision. Silence hung between them with unspoken emotion and shared how Jungkook, ever the catalyst of vulnerability, decided to shatter the silence once more. She ran away to fulfill her dreams. What's your dreams? To travel the world while smile was a waiting street, a fragile of forgotten hopes. I promise. Hope bloomed within mine, a fragrant flower in the fragile pavement of her reality. Slowly, tentatively, she reached out to hold his hand, seeking solace in his warmth. We can travel together if you want. Jungkook's smile was a sunrise, painting the sky with hues of possibility. Jungkook noticed one blush and decided to lighten the mood with a playful flirtation. Well, if we are going to travel together, I hope you are prepared to keep up with my adventurous spirit. I plan on exploring every corner of the globe with you by my side. Wine chuckled softly. I am up for any adventure as long as you promise me not to drop me into any extreme sports. Jungkook grinned, enjoying the banter between them. Deal, no extreme sport unless you are daring enough to try skydiving with me someday. We'll see about that, but for now, let's focus on focusing on our own adventures together. Jungkook noticed, squeezing her hand gently, agreeing our journey starts now. The end. Thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel for more stories.